I was just kind of talking to myself earlier about just how certain things be happening to me in my life and how I navigate through it. And before I even start with that being said, you know, every bad experience is not negative. You don't have to look at it as negative. And it's really just something you can learn from. And I'm a firm believer that everything that happens to you in your life is a reflection of yourself. So, with that being said, you have the power to make things change or make things happen with just how you think and how you carry yourself. How you think and how you carry yourself is how the external world is going to respond to you. So, with that being said, you have the power to control your reality. Now, I was literally just going into a debuttal about pretty much questioning my sexuality, bro. And I had this crazy moment in my life where I was questioning I was really questioning if I was gay or if I was bisexual. And long story short, I come to the conclusion that, I'm kind of in a mix between straight or bi-curious, but I don't even know, bro. I'm still trying to figure this shit out. And one of the main reasons why I would say that is just because of my experience with women and how it's gone for me in different environments. And with that being said, I never did nothing with a dude, but the fact that I thought about it, the fact that I thought about it is questioning, oh, like I might be feeling something else, right? So, but then I saw a video and this dude was saying how if you don't want to be in a committed relationship with the same sex, with caring and loving nature towards that same sex person, then you're not bisexual. So I'm like, all right, maybe I'm just bi curious, right? Like maybe I'm just into some freaky shit, bro. I don't even know. But with that being said, it's really just based on my experience going through life. Now, I would consider myself a conventionally attractive looking person. And I mean that in the most humblest way, but something that I can't really avoid or can't really hide from, and that has shown me just how people treat you when you're out in the world and especially in the workforce. Like one thing I noticed is it's different when it's always different based on who you're surrounding yourself with. It's always different based on the people you're around, right? So like the only times that I've had good experiences where it actually went somewhere and me and this woman we enjoy each other's company is when that other woman carries herself with pretty much the same amount of confidence that I carry myself with. And some of you guys who are gonna be watching this probably already know the type of clothes and shit I've been wearing for years. I be wearing, I guess you could say it's unconventional for a heterosexual male to wear. Like I'll be wearing Uggs or them big ass Rick Owens boots and shit I be wearing. But that's a part of me growing up where I came from. Me being in New York. If you're from New York, you know how people get, bro. Like we get down with all the fashion and shit. But when you're around people that are not used to that, it can get a little bit weird sometimes. I would say it's 50-50. Some people just don't give a fuck, and some people just look at you like you got three heads. But, at the end of the day, I'm gonna just keep being myself. But like I was saying before, with the experience with women that I've had, that it felt natural and it didn't feel like a competition, bro. And this is why I started questioning my sexuality. But like I said, it's only in certain environments. Like right now, I'm not in New York. I'm just in basically the middle of Kansas, just doing, just trying to work on myself, right? And when you're around women who are just not as confident in themselves, let's say like I don't know, like the sixes and the fives, you know, just like cute girls, cute, good looking women, but they're not fucking supermodels, you know what I'm saying? They're not they're not supermodels, you know, and they don't carry themselves like that, you know. It's just so different, and I've had such a difficult time dealing with those type of women, being with who I am. And bro, I was going crazy for like months because right now that's all I'm around right now. So I'm thinking like, I don't know, why does this shit just not feel weird? You know, it feels as if they're trying to compete with me, you know. They're trying to compete with me with looks. They're trying to compete with me and how many dudes they can pull, or they think that, you know, they can just play in my face and say all this shit, bro. And I don't know, I just look at it as weird because I feel as if you're trying to flex how many options you have in front of somebody, it's just weird. It just gives off weird energy. Like just vibe, bro. Just vibe. Like shorty, like we just vibing, bro. And her mans or whoever she was messing with calls her, and then like, bro, I'm not gonna say too much, but she's just doing some extra shit, bro. And I just get that spidey sense, that tingling sense in my feeling, and that tingling sense in my body, like something feels so off. Like this girl is not really fucking with me. Or like sometimes what I notice too with being good looking is people just want to be around you to be like, yeah, I know that guy. You know, like you kind of just become popular for a superficial reason just because I look a certain way. And it's weird because I can tell that people don't really want to be around me for me. And it's almost like I'm a trophy. I'm a trophy. And I can feel that energy because sometimes when I'm talking to these girls that aren't aren't like supermodel esque, or they aren't as confident in themselves, I can just feel that their insecurity projecting onto me. And that never works with me trying to be intimate with them. It doesn't work. And I've tried it before. You know, I've usually only been with, I would say, conventionally attractive women. I'm gonna just say like seven and up, right? Let's say, yeah, let's throw that number out there. And you know, they usually have a sense of style, or just something that I can tell that they're a little bit more confident than, you know, your average NPC or whatever. But bro, I tried fucking with this one girl, right? And like I said before, it wasn't the typical what I would go for. And I paid the price for that, bro. Because as I said before, it felt like a competition, or it just feels so off, bro. And it's like I said, you could just feel the other person pouring those insecurities onto you, and it just doesn't feel right. It's almost as if I have to walk on eggshells and I can't really be myself. Bro, that shit just don't work, bro. I'm not gonna lie, like that shit just don't work. And with that being said, you really like take this with you. What I'm saying right now, bro. You gotta really sit with yourself, and you gotta know who you are. You gotta know who you are, what you can fuck with, and what works for you, not everybody else. Cause when I was in Texas for a little bit, and I was kind of living with a group of people. Right now, I'm kind of just on my own now. But I was living with a group of people, and they would always be around. And regular looking dudes, or dudes that are not as conventionally attractive in the face, or they don't have those pretty boy features, they women it's different. It's a different game for them. It's a different game for them, and it's a different game for me. And there was another girl that I was trying to just like see where this goes, right? And she wasn't as conventionally attractive, but I thought she was cute, right? So like we hanging out and stuff, and it's the same thing. It's where, you know, she's dropping subtle comments on like how many dudes want her or all this, like right in front of my face. And I'm kind of just sitting there. I'm just taking it in. You know what I'm saying? I'm being calm, not being reactive. I'm not about to crash out or be like, oh, what you talking about? Like I'm never doing that shit, bro. I'm always gonna keep it P. And bro, it's just so weird because it feels like a competition. Like you trying to compete and be like, oh well, I could get all these dudes. Uh, and it's like I said, it's just that person's insecurities pouring out. And I like I said, I've been with women and they know I look good, bro, and they cool with it because they look good too. So it's like this underlying thing in their mind, like they know they could get other dudes. I know I could get other women. But we fucking with each other right now, like just vibe in the moment. And that's how I be, bro. That's how I be. I don't be going around saying like, bro, I don't be saying all that extra shit, bro. If I'm fucking with a girl and we vibing, we just talking to each other. I'm not talking about nobody else. No, like if you messing with a girl, bro, and she start bringing up other dudes and stuff, she don't fuck with you. And I do the same thing if I'm fucking with a girl. Bro, we just talking to each other. Like, I'm not gonna bring up another girl if I'm messing with this girl. But for so long, like, that happened with the girls that I usually don't mess with for that period of time in my life, which I would say is the past couple months to a year from today. You know, long story short, I just kind of had a big transition in my life where I had to move out of where I used to stay at. So I kind of had to adapt and just start over, basically. But from that period, it really did have me questioning my sexuality because I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know, like, what am I doing wrong? Why are these girls trying to subtly compete with me or act like they like me, but they don't like me? And then just like be flipping out and just being insecure. And I just can't do it. Like, I just can't lower my standards anymore. And that's one thing that I give advice to anybody watching this too. I said that before too. Once you know yourself and you're confident, you're comfortable with who you are, you gotta stay grounded, bro. You gotta stay grounded. That's the most important thing that you gotta take from this video, bro. You just gotta stay completely grounded, know who you are, and just do you, bro. Cause I was like, bro, do I like dudes or something? Because why is this shit not working? But now that I think about it, I'm like, nah, I don't. And a lot of my family too, when I used to live with my family, it's predominantly women. You know, most of the men in my family are a little bit flamboyant to a certain extent. So I think that also had effect on how I was thinking. And even back then, bro, like I'm gonna just keep it real, bro. I tried talking to a dude and it just felt weird. It just felt so weird. And I don't know if that was because it was something new to me because I never did it before. I've only been with girls, women. So, and even now it seems weird to me, like something I wouldn't really do. But as I said before, I was questioning it just because of how I was getting treated by women or some women in this new area of my life, right? The women just around me. But I had like a clarity moment today where I just thought about the women in my past and just how they carried themselves versus me, how I carry myself. And then now that I'm in this new area where the type of women is different and I still carry myself the same way to an extent, if not more confident because of just what I'm doing in my life and I'm a little bit further advancing in my life just as a young man. but it doesn't work. That's one thing I realized. Like I can't, especially if you a fashion dude on here, then you kind of know what I'm talking about. Like, if you be putting that shit on, you be wearing undercover, Supreme, anything, or you be going out of your way to actually dress up. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You get the gay allegations, or that's just one thing that if you're not the stereotypical black dude, then you're always gonna get some gay allegations. But it only really be from NPCs, bro. It only really be from people that don't be dressing like that, or it just be the NPCs, bro. Like, if you know what I'm talking about, bro. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know, man. Like, this is crazy how life is, but I came to another conclusion that it's just everything is based on who you're around. It's just based on your environment. If I'm in a certain environment, if I'm in a predominantly white environment, I will get treated differently from being in a predominantly black environment. And that has nothing to do with the women and stuff I was talking about before, but it's the same. It's all under the same circumference. It's all under the same realm of you are who you're around, and everything is just based on location. Like, you could, what's that saying, bro? You could put bro, I think it was some shit Kanye said. He was like, you could put a candle in the dark. Fuck, I don't even remember, bro. I probably better think about that shit later. But what's like another saying, bro? Bro, it's kind of like clothes, bro. It's like Balenciaga. You could have these ripped up T-shirts. Balenciaga could sell that shit for $2,000, but if some random dude on the street is selling the same ripped up T-shirt for $2,000, everybody could look at him like he crazy, bro. It's the same thing. And when you're just around people that don't really match your frequency or whatever you're on, it just causes friction. It causes friction, and there's no flow. There's no flow state. There's no flow state. And I had to think about this, bro. I really had to think about this because I was really questioning my entire sexuality, bro. But I was thinking about going to the other side, but I'm like, bro, the other side, bro, I can't rock. Like, I don't really rock with that. So I'd be thinking, like, what's wrong with me, bro? Like, is there something wrong with me? But I'm just different, bro. I'm just different. And that's one thing I realized about just being myself and just, like, doing what I do.